It is January 3rd, Redness Day, 2024. First broadcast of 2024, and we got a hell of a show lined up for you. So don't go anywhere. Welcome in, guys. It's MobVlog.
Hey, everybody, grab a coffee and cannoli. It's time for MobVlog with my friend Adam Flowers and Red Wemette.
All right, Red. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Oh, excellent. So, everybody, welcome into the show.
Can you ask people if they can see me or if I'm frozen?
Yeah, we'll ask. Yeah, you guys put it in the comments. Does Red look choppy to you? Because he looks choppy to me. He and I have been sitting here for 15 minutes going over this, and he's like, no, it looks good. And he looks choppy to me. Let me know if he's choppy or not in the comments. Julie M., Frank Ferraro, John O., David Grimp, Tommy Bridges, Holman Sanders, Julie M., Don Ciccio Di Porzalo, Frank Ferraro, Tony Johnson, Russ Jackson. Welcome in, guys. Big Mo's here. Dave M., Sean Pender. It's nice to see all of you guys for our first broadcast of 2024. And Red was telling me a story. Looks good. It looks good. Everybody looks good. So, all right, Red, maybe it's on my end and I'm just seeing things up. Yeah. Got any New Year's resolutions, Red?
Not that I'm going to spill.
Speaking of spilling, this year I'm going to look at my cup as half full, preferably with rum, vodka, gin, You know what's the worst part of jogging on New Year's Eve is? It's the ice falling out of your drink. Guys, welcome in. It's going to be an interesting day. Today, we're going to be talking about, we actually had Frank Calabrese Jr. on the show, did an interview with Frank, talked about his book. He gave me a copy, autographed copy, cool, from Frank. Interesting, and it was an interesting show. We learned a bit about Frank, and then Red started to tell me something about this book. He said it's never going to be made into a movie, and I said, "What do you mean?" And I don't think I ever asked Frank about that, about his book being done into a movie or anything. But you had an interesting story about Paul Pompian, and who is Paul Pompian?
He was a producer of films. And a screenplay writer, and author, part of the Authors Guild and everything else out in California. Quite a man, a lot of accomplishments. If you look him up, you can see on Google. This is the way it started, from what I understand from Paul.
I'm sorry, how do you know Paul?
That's what I'm going to explain.
How did you know Paul?
That's what I'm going to explain.
Okay.
I had a call from one of the assistant U.S. attorneys on the case. And we were talking about Mitch passing away, Mitch Mars and some other things. And I was very disappointed on that. But when I was talking to them, they said, he's got a deal, a movie deal. And I said, really? And they said, yeah, he's going to write a book and then they're going to do a movie. And so I said, what's it all about? I mean, I was curious. And he said, it's got to be with the book first, because that's going to let everybody know who he is. And then we'll come out with the movie. And so I said, And he said, give this guy a call. He lived in California. So I called him. This was in 2013. I called him, and I talked to him. I introduced myself. He said he saw me at the trial. He knew who I was. And we started talking about locations. He's from Chicago. And we started about locations and different things that happened. He asked me if I ever knew Frank or knew his family or anything like that. And I said, no, I didn't. But it was one of those kind of things where after he kind of vetted me, he said, how would you like to be a technical advisor on this? And I said, yeah, okay. And I didn't know it paid anything, but he sent me some money right away. He was a great guy. So I'm on the phone with him trying to earn my money and talking to him like every day. And he told me about the contract. He told me about the book. He had the Zimmerman brothers himself write the book, actually write it. And Frank Calabrese just told his stories. And so I said, oh, okay. And he said, but that's not where the money is. He said, I lost money on the book. He said, the money is going to be in the film. And I said, well, how do you know everything's going to go? He said, I know. I got that feeling. I got a hot one here. It's going to be Operation Family Secrets. And so I said, oh, okay. And we're talking about it and working on it. He would call up. He had Nick Pileggi writing the script. Nick Pileggi signed on for writing the script.
Mm-hmm.
Then Nick Pileggi's wife died, or she had died in 2012, and he got kind of remorse, and he just didn't want to write anymore. So Paul started. He was every day he was going on the typewriter. When I call him, he's saying, "This damn thing," because I forgot about this and that and everything else. He was going on the computer, on the word processor. So in the meantime, he explained that they entered into a contract, and that contract, because here's how the explanation came about. I told him I had a call from somebody in the middle of this. I forget which month, but I told him I had a call from somebody, and somebody else was doing a movie. And he said, they can't do that. And I said, well, they are. And he said, how do you know? And I told him the guy that called me. And he said, bye. Hung up the phone. And he called me back, and he said, yeah, Wahlberg Productions they bought a script, but they shelved it after I talked to him. And then he explained why. He owns all the rights. At that time, he owned all the rights to Family Secrets, Operation Family Secrets, the book and the movie, and Frank. Anything that they did on Frank had to go through him in a movie. He signed away all his rights in the contract, Frank Calabrese Jr.
Okay.
So when I listened to this, I said, oh, okay. It was no big deal to me. And I think Frank at that time, Calabrese, he was out doing pizzas in, what do you call it? Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
So as it went on, further and further, it got deeper. Paul got sick. He didn't know what was wrong with him. His pancreas was messing up. All different kinds of things were going wrong on him.
Okay.
And he told me I suggested going back to Northwestern University, going back to the hospital there. He was a law graduate from from Loyola. So I suggested going back. He said, no, I got this guy out here in Los Angeles, and I'm going to go in and see him. And so he came back, and he said, they did a bunch of tests, and I don't know what the test results are going to be, et cetera, et cetera. Well, what happened was I called back to wish him a Happy New Year on 2014. Mm-hmm. 2013, New Year's Eve, 2014, I called. And Paulie, who I'd spoke to many times, his wife, answered the phone. And she said, oh, I'm just so tired. And I hadn't said anything. I just said hello. And she said, I can't talk to anybody now. And she said, whoever this is, I'll call you back later. And I said, I'm sorry I bothered you. I'm really sorry I bothered you. And she said, Red? And I said, yeah. And she said, Paul died.
Oh.
Died. I just left him. And then she emptied her heart to me. And she explained that this was a real problem. But Paul had explained to me that the movie rights went to her. She inherited anything he owned, any property that he owned, intellectual rights, and also everything that he owned. So Paulie died about 5 months later. I didn't call her back right away. I spoke to her twice after that, and she was very morose. She wasn't very happy. That was the love of her life. Wow. And Paul was quite a character. I mean, she dated Frank Sinatra. I mean, she got around. She was a showgirl.
Okay.
She was quite a gal. So the long and short of it is, somebody else, I think it was one of the Zimmermans, I'm not really sure, but somebody contacted her and said they wanted to go ahead with the movie. And she stopped them dead in their tracks. There was a lawsuit involved.
Oh, geez.
They spent a lot of money, and she was angry that she had to spend money. So she said, it'll never be made. It will never be made, period. Now, she passed away, and it went to her children and Paul's children. I don't know how that got divided up, but it will never be made.
They probably have it in a living trust, something like that. Jacqueline Moore, thanks a bunch for the super sticker. We do appreciate it. Guys, if you're just coming in, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Cynthia Casanova, hello. Happy New Year. I don't think we've ever said your name. Miss Can't Be Wrong. Mike Alexander's nice to have you in here. Scott H. showed up. And yeah, so
Hi, folks.
want to welcome you guys in. So if you're new here, we talk about the Chicago mob history on this channel, and usually we wander off to things like did we really go to the moon? You never know where the hell we're gonna go on this show. So welcome in if you're new here, guys. And we're seeing more and more subscribers too. The channel keeps growing, and yeah, this is so welcome in, guys. And if you're new here, go back, look at the playlists. Plenty of content to watch. You can go all the way back to Coffee with Colada. Watch all right on up through the first, 100 episodes or so that are there. So be sure to check it out. A lot of mob history, a Chicago outfit specifically on the channel. McZag Jan. Hello again from Loch Ness. Oh, look at that. Got somebody that knows where the Loch Ness Monster is.
Yeah.
Living by Loch Ness. They're in Loch Ness. That's pretty cool. It always amazes me, Red, when you look at the analytics on the channel, you go, where the hell people? Romania? Loch Ness? Yeah, I mean, you never know. They're everywhere.
Well, we got one in Scotland. We have one in Ireland.
Vietnam, all over the place. It's crazy. AFA, what do you guys think of Cicero, a Cicero movie on Betty with Scorsese in charge and Melissa McCarthy paying her?
He's talking about Maltese.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not going to. It'd be a big deal in Chicago, but not nationwide.
Well, such little has been done about in Chicago, especially with Chicago crime. I mean, it's something that just hasn't been touched a whole lot.
That's what made Family Secrets going to be a big deal about.
Right. I didn't know that story at all. It's kind of interesting. No contingency, like if the producer dies, what happens?
He signed away everything. I don't think he had a lawyer read that. I just think he signed it.
Geronimo de los Silos. Greetings from Northern Arizona. You're here, but are you in, baby? Retired banana here. Hand pink waving. Face blue smiling, hand pink waving, face blue smiling, What is this?
Too much.
What is this? Come on. Red, Timperoni. If you get a chance, please reach out to me. Red, reach out. Tim, what do you need? There you go.
Tim sends me messages on Messenger all the time.
Your Facebook friends. I see. Okay. Facebook friends. Benjamin Kundari, Countryside, Illinois here. I'm a local, U.S. Yeah, Countryside, Illinois. Nice.
I liked it out there.
Yeah, nice area. Nice part of the country. Timothy Foster. No one ever wants the moon. A bunch of... Hold on. No one ever went to the moon. A bunch of lies by fake NASA. Timothy Foster. See, I told you, it goes anywhere on this damn channel. We sit here and we start talking, and the next thing you know, somebody...
Bill Crawley's got the right attitude. Happy New Year's.
All the way from Bonnie, Scotland, in my wee lodge on the banks of the Loch Ness, McZag Jan. That's pretty wild, isn't it? Scotland. You go, wow, what? You're an impressive sight. You guys are talking to each other in these comments. Hope you have a safe New Year's. Greetings from Cicero. Nice. Cicero. So, gotta love it, man. I mean, you sit here and we talk about the different things in Chicago and the history and what movies were made about Chicago. There was The Road to Perdition.
Nothing that was true. Nothing that was factual.
Oh, no? It was all made up.
It started out with the first thing was I think the Untouchables came out. And there was a fight over that too. Desi Productions had a big fight over that.
Tim Peroni, how about a show on the Chop Shop Wars and the people involved? We did an episode, a whole episode on the Chop Shop Wars. sat there and talked about it and who was running them and what was going on. That's when they were just stealing cars all around Chicago, right? 60s,
Oh, yeah.
70s, 80s. And
in
then
Indiana too. They sold them in Indiana wherever they could do them. They had a bunch
Yeah.
of race car drivers that would go and steal the cars, and then they buy them. And then there was chop shop wars there where they started killing the race car drivers. And then they worked their way down to Jimmy Couture. And
Oh, so they did make a movie then about Chicago, Gone in 60 Seconds.
yeah, that happened in L.A.
I know, I was just kidding. All right, so family secret stories riveting. You have a hot-headed dad, according to Frank Jr., wearing a wire in prison. It writes itself. It's a good story.
That's a true story. That part of it's true.
It's a good story. I mean, it's not, yeah. John McShane. Did you guys watch Frank's brother's interview? It made Frank seem like he was full of shit.
Yes, that was his brother, Kurt. And I remember during pre-trial, before we went into court, like 2 weeks beforehand, several major things hit the news. One of them was there was a rat found in Kurt Calabrese's home in Kenilworth, or on the doorstep. And one day, the marshals had to go out and get him and his family and disappeared. There was a lawnmower just sitting in the back. So he disappeared.
When you say there was a rat found,
a dead rat.
You mean a real rat?
Oh, yeah. On his doorstep. So they took him and put him in, the marshals picked him up and took him in and put him in witness protection. The other thing was Joan Lefkoe was her house was broke into and her husband was murdered. And they thought it might have something to do with organized crime, but it didn't.
Huh.
But Kurt really ripped his brother up and said he'd do anything to sell his family name. He did that on Vlad, and he did it on what's the other one?
Value Payment.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. For those of you on medication, Jim Yeager wants to let you know it's 420.
He never forgets.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't miss it. That guy's got to be just a pothead. I swear to God. He's one of those guys. It's got to be. Jim Yeager.
Don Cheech, you're exactly right.
Don Cheech.
Kurt Calabrese is the brains.
Oh, Kurt is the brains.
He's the brother. He took a lot of heat because of his brother. The money that was hidden, it wasn't 500,000, like he said. It was almost $1 million. But he was supposed to.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Miss Flowers.
I just wanted to say hi to Mom. That's all.
But he took a lot of heat because his father was giving him money. He was putting in the garage. And while it was in the garage, Frank went and stole more and more and more. He kept taking money. So finally, his father grabbed Kurt and his father, according to Kurt on Patrick David or whatever, David Patrick. He said, let's go deposit the money. They went to deposit. He found out how short he was. It was over $1 million. It wasn't 500,000. It wasn't 750,000. I've heard 4 or 5 different stories. But then again, just like Marcus Funk said in his interview, he was a prosecutor in Family Secrets. They asked him about Frank Calabrese, and he said, if you ask 5 different people, you're going to give 5 different answers. Some people believe this. Some people believe this. I can only tell you what he testified to on the stand. That was the way he put it.
Damn.
Not very flattering.
Jacob Olmos. Did Frank Collada ever say what his favorite time was back in the mob days? Happy New Year's to you. No, favorite time was?
No. Favorite era, time, whatever. Good times.
No. He didn't really ever say that it was.
Times he was in and out of prison. He was.
It definitely wasn't while he was in prison.
No, and he's doing cases all the time.
So, God, it's just crazy. Has anybody heard about a mob gunsmith named Wolfman? A mob gunsmith? What the hell's a mob gunsmith, Red?
Gunsmith that worked for the mob.
Somebody who altered guns, made guns for them?
Yeah.
Okay.
The best I know is in Chicago was Jerry Bell's Sporting Goods over in Franklin Park. They got shut down.
Right.
But a lot of the weapons that were used for hits came from a place in Tamiami Trail down in, I think it was called Tamiami Trail Guns. It was down in Miami.
Red, Gomph 3602. Don't see how Frank Calabrese could sell rights to telling a story that is open source. Plenty of other people know the details of what happened.
That's true. Somebody else can do it, but they can't attach his name to it. He owns the brand. He sold the brand. He doesn't own it anymore. He sold it.
James Files, Timothy Foster. I heard James Files mentioned him. Did he?
I don't know. Files said a lot of things.
Okay. Miss can't be wrong. Red knows his stuff. Yeah,
That can't be wrong.
Red surprises me sometimes. Honest to God, I'll sit there. We're talking about things, and he'll surprise me with something. Guys, hit the like button if you're just coming in. Don't forget to do that. Red Wemette over here with us today on MobVlog, and yeah, we're talking about the family secrets. By the way, in the family secrets deal, it came out who all was there when Tony was killed.
Oh yeah.
And all in the do you remember?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, when I was talking to Mitch Mars about it, he came down to me in 2000. He came down to Florida to see me, and he sent some investigators first, Chris Mackey and I forget the other guy's name, but he was the head FBI guy in Chicago at the time. Quite a guy. But anyway, they came down. He came down, and he was telling me that they were going to do this trial, and it was going to clear up all the murders from 1970 all the way current. It was going to clear everything up. And I said, you must have a big witness list. And they did. They had a terrific witness list. So he said, I want you to participate in it. And I said, why? Why do you need me? There's some big shots going in here. I mean, why do you need me? And he said, the tapes. He said, we got you with Frank Schweiss saying, you know how it is. If they knock me down, somebody will take my place. We're connected. We're all connected. And that proved that the mob was there. And they wanted me there to authenticate the tapes. So that was in 2000. In 2004, they had it all ready. In 2005, they brought down the indictment. And in 2006, it was supposed to go to trial, except Joey Lombardo and Frank Schweiss took off. They were nowhere to be found. After their mouths were swabbed, after they swabbed their mouths for DNA, they were gone. That was it. So the trial was withheld another year. They actually went in 2007. And in 2008, the sentencing came down. And shortly after that, Mitch passed away.
Jeez.
And he put the whole thing together. He was a genius. Great guy. I liked working with Mitch before then.
What other cases did you work on with him?
Extortion. Basically, I know a lot of people who were being extorted and how they were being extorted. A lot of background things. You know, he wanted to know the background, though. And never where I had to testify. I was never supposed to testify. But I did.
You made your rounds, Red. That's for damn sure. You made your rounds.
Oh, yeah.
So, William Davidson, Red's a history teacher.
Thanks, Bill. Bill's a former Cook County cop.
He is. Okay. A lot of cops watch the channel. What's the deal with that? For some reason, cops like to watch this.
Bill's a hell of a nice guy.
Oh, we got a lot of, there's a lot of nice people on that watch the channel. So
we check it back and forth on Messenger a lot.
It's a lot of damn work to run this, to do this. Well, because you do it on your channel too. I mean, it's set up the broadcast, do the broadcast, and then you got to sit for hours replying to comments and back and forth with, to keep the channel active, to keep it, relevant and keep it going. So Movie Junk, keep up the great content. Thanks so much, Movie Junk. Appreciate that.
Chicago Joe says Mars was only 55. He was 55, and he had throat cancer. And we thought it was a cold. All the time we thought it was a cold. And he said, I'll take care of it after the trial's over.
Should have went to the doctor, huh?
It turned out to be cancer of the throat.
Should have went to the doctor.
Big Mo says, see his comment?
Big Mo. We love true crime.
That's why police officers actually, or retired police officers actually watch this. They like true crime.
I guess so. That's got to be why. I'm getting a book. I'm getting this book, Vegas in the Chicago Outfit. Now, a friend of mine it's by Al W. Mo. I don't know if any of you read this book. Put it in the comments if it's worth the read. I guess he said it's not that great, but it's not that great. But he's going to send it to me. So Don, if you're watching, Don, thank you so much. Kurt Calabrese, stay tuned. The whole truth is coming.
Thank you, Kurt. I've been waiting. I watched you on Vlad, and I watched you on what's the other one? Patrick David.
Yeah, Value Tank.
I enjoyed both of your interviews. I liked them, and I hope you do more content. I really do. You are a stand-up guy.
There you go. That's coming from Kurt Calabrese. By the way, I heard that Frank Calabrese is doing a thing for the museum, the Mob Museum, and over the next couple of months, anyways, it's in the morning that he's doing it. It's a sit down. You go in and you can listen to him. It doesn't include admission.
To talk to him.
Well, you get to I don't know. He tells his stories and all that, and it's kind of interesting. The name of it. Did you see that, Red? Coffee with Calabrese.
How original.
For some reason, that sounds familiar to me. I don't know why, but it sounds familiar to me. Does that sound familiar to anybody else? I'm just saying. I mean, it's like, it's really kind of familiar for some reason. I mean, couldn't be something a little different. I mean, it's like, it's almost like brand confusion or something.
It says copyright. You say copyright. No, it's not copywritten. I don't think.
No, it's not copywritten. It's not like it's the only time that coffee's been used in the title, but I mean, just Don Cheech. See, he's a genius. He's a genius. Frank, it's not too original. It does sound familiar, doesn't it, Holman Sanders?
Yeah.
Tom goes, Carmine left. Keith Helton, decaf. It's decaf with Calabrese.
I wonder what Kurt thinks about this.
It just seems really close. I mean,
you want to have Kurt on the show.
Almost,
Kurt, if you're listening.
No, we've invited him on.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, we have. We've invited him on. I've sent him messages. He never responded, but yeah, we've invited him on. So we pumped it into AI. We said, if Frank Calabrese Jr. was to respond to, hey man, it was really close. What would say? What would happen? What would it be? And this is what AI put out.
I am going to remind you in advance that I am very sorry and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving a fuck.
Now, come on. Don't go saying we're putting words in anybody's mouth now.
Spilling the tea is what they should have called it. Devon says.
Oh, man.
Francie Brady, that butcher boy.
I get one of those. All right. So, anyway, Tim Foster, don't even sound like him. No, it doesn't. That's actually a clip from a movie. And it's, Anyway, spilling the tea is what they should have called it. Oh, my God. Devin Morrell.
Play it.
Oh, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, Red. I'm not. I told you last night I'm not doing it. I'm not playing it. I played enough. That's it. God, cocaine with Calabrese. Jesus, you guys are bad. You're terrible. This is what the audience is saying. This isn't me.
Yeah.
This is what the audience is saying. That's a cartoon, LOL. Yes, it is. It's just a cartoon. It's funny. So, God, you guys are funny. Bigfoot Turkey. I don't even think we said hello to Bigfoot Turkey. Bigfoot Turkey, welcome into the channel. Why would he steal that name? Why? I don't know.
What did Robert Allen say? He said flat.
Oh, but you're right. Robert Allen, my mentor, said when they start copying you, you're doing something right. You're on the right track when they start copying you. It's true. It's really true. So, anyway, he's a rat. Cheese with Calabrese. Oh my God, Jesus! These guys, the audience is brutal. They're brutal, Red. I mean, that's brutal. Jesus! Wow.
Ian McCarthy, how you doing, buddy?
So yeah. Anyway, Carmine left. He's over there now.
Where?
Over there, you know.
Who? Carmine?
Nothing beats coffee with colada. ATB mob. No, it was need a new jingle though. Have to come up with a different jingle. Yeah. I wrote a few, but I'm not going to repeat them. Sometimes I get that creative juice gets flowing, and it's just
at nighttime.
Yeah,
It's midnight when I get that call.
I know, man. They were going to make Family Secrets a movie. Yes, that's true. Bigfoot Turkey. That's what they were going to do.
It died.
Devin Morrell. Why? Well, he stole a boatload of money from his dad, so why not steal from Adam? Oh, yeah. I say that on the tour. They steal from you. They steal from me. They steal from each other. This is what the mob does, right? That's what they do. Hello, Adam and Red Wemette. Mickey Griggs, nice to see you in here. So what did Paul Pompian do? He did The Watcher, Swimming Upstream, Resurrection, and Gideon. Are these Swimming Upstream got a seven stars on IMDb?
Right. These were all things of the 90s.
Yeah, 2003 was Swimming Upstream, 98 Gideon, and 99 Resurrection. I think I've ever watched it.
They're too old for you.
Oh no, he's produced other things too. Joshua, Children on Their Birthdays.
Joshua,
Wasteland.
good.
Was it?
Yeah.
He produced it.
Yes.
The Watcher. That's not that whoa, Fatal Deception, Mrs. Lee Harvey Oswald in 93. Yes. What's that?
Well, it's got a lot to do with Chicago. It was good.
Huh.
It was very
I gotta
good.
look up some of these movies. I'm honest to God.
I looked them all up when I found out who he was. I wanted to see if he was legit or just some,
No, he did a shit ton of movies, man.
Yeah. He was a great.
He did Hear No. No, that's not. I thought that was See No Evil. Hear No Evil. That's different.
Right. Hear No Evil.
I thought it was the one with that Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder.
No, before that, I think it was Hear No Evil was I forget her name now, the actress, but she was blind, and Richard Crenna played a part in the movie where they were burglars and they went into her house and they tried to steal something, and it was a very good movie. Intense, very intense movie.
Okay. John Wallace, Imitations.
That thing is 35 years old.
John Wallace, Imitations, the sincerest form of flattery. I'm flattered. What can I say? I'm flattered that Michael Mann was planning on making a movie about Momo and Accardo back in 2016.
That's correct. It got killed. As a matter of fact, what's the guy's name? He played The Godfather. He played The Godfather. No, not The Godfather. De Niro was out in Streamwood, Illinois, and he got beat. And they told him to kill the movie. Then they went up to Canada and tried to make it up there. It didn't make it there either.
Didn't work, huh?
No.
Didn't want to, yeah?
No. They didn't want to be noticed.
Oh, hey, Jono. Frank's been saying the movie is is close to production with some actors linked to it. Supposedly the original contract issue resolved somehow. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. But if it is, God bless them.
Yeah. Okay.
I know the Zimmerman brothers were involved. They got a piece of the action for writing the book with him, with Paul.
Scott H. Nick Solozzi already made a Momo movie?
He did.
He did, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about that on my show.
Hey, Red, how good was Mad Sam's wife's tomato bread?
Very good.
The sauce was good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And the bread was good. That was, oh, man, it was very good. I liked it. I just didn't like her husband.
Hey, Mickey Griggs, COPD's really taking a toll on you, man. Hey, we'll say a prayer for you. Definitely, Mickey. But everybody else too, say a prayer for Mickey. His COPD's taking a toll on him. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Getting old is not for pussies.
You're right.
It just isn't. Tommy Bridges, Tim Peroni. I'll check it out on Rumble, but I've been seeing both Files interviews. I hear he's trying to cash in and wants. He's trying to cash in.
Jimmy Files has got a strange thing. That's another guy called me. Adam West he was from Houston. He called me up. John Osborne gave him my home phone number, and I was surprised when the guy called me. But he caught me on the phone. It didn't go to the answering machine. And he started asking me a lot of questions. I kind of hung up on him until John called me. And then when John Osborne called me, he told me, he said, no, this guy's okay. And he was actually going into Joliet Penitentiary and talking to Files. And they were trying to prove they got him immunity from murder in Texas. At that time, there was no federal charge for murder. It could only be done in the state. So he got immunity. Whatever he says, he can say anything. He can tell the story about Kennedy, the Kennedy assassination. He says he's the shooter from the grassy knoll. He's the one that did the fatal headshot. That's what he says. Has been for the last 30 years.
Files. Sorry. Tommy Bridges. Let's reread this. He wants to cash in and make money, charge to watch his videos. Heard this from a producer.
Yeah.
That's right. He said we should have him on the show. I don't think we can get James Files onto the show.
No.
That's not going to happen. Bigfoot Turkey. Mob Museum smells like BO every time I have been. It's awful. Really? I've been in there a few times, but I didn't think it smelled. I guess maybe. Anyway, Mickey Griggs. I love tomato gravy sauce, whatever you want to call it. Hey, Red. Robert Murphy wants to know, how about a movie about your very own? Red.
What am I going to do? Talk about other people? I didn't really do that much.
Okay.
But I did live an extraordinary life. But I could tell about other people, but really it'd be like, I don't know. I don't think they'll do one. I don't think they'll do one.
Okay. All right. JJ, was Accardo the actual person who killed Momo? According to Frank Collada, Tony Spilatro told him it was Butch Blasi. Frank asked Tony one day straight up, did you do it? And he said it was Butch Blasi, who was Sam's driver. So that's what I've heard from somebody who heard something. So I don't know. That's all I know, though. So Files is known as a bullshitter. That's what I've heard. Scott H.
You can hear a lot of things. Everything I've listened to him on, I've never caught him in a lie.
Okay.
And I'm a stickler for that. I like to tear it apart and see what's true and what's not.
Sure. All right.
And there's some FBI agents, retired FBI agents, that are behind him or were behind him that said, no, it wasn't a lie. They went and fact checked a lot of things that he said.
Huh.
They actually went inside Joliet Statesville Penitentiary and talked to him and did videos of him then.
Okay.
They're not on YouTube anymore.
Took him down, huh?
Evidently.
All the James Files stuff came down. You can go find it on Rumble, but not on YouTube.
It's
right?
too hot to handle.
Yeah. They didn't want to mess with that. Well, I mean, it's kind of
Chucky Nicoletti, that he was there with Chucky Nicoletti, and Chucky Nicoletti got murdered after that.
Yeah. Supposedly. Wasn't Roselli there too? Supposedly.
I think he knew about it. He was the go-between between Mayhew and the CIA.
Uh-huh. You know, with everything that's been released and documents that have come out and speculations, movies, shows that have been done on it, I mean, it really, really stinks. The magic bullet, you know, you've read the documents on the magic bullet that freaking goes this way and then that way and then yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Goff, you're right. He was known as Jimmy Sutton, the hillbilly, and that's because he came from Kentucky, and he was I think he was Nicoletti's driver. He was a race car driver.
Oh, Tim Perrone. Has anybody watched the Netflix series called The Offer? It's about how the New York mob was involved in the making of The Godfather. Red, we literally did a show, an episode about
8 of them. We did 8 of them right in a row.
8 episodes in a row about the producer. Yeah, about the offer, rather, the producer, The Offer. And yeah, as it dropped, we did those. It was that was fun, man. That was a good show. I'd go back and watch that again.
You got it, Mr. Ruddy.
That was really good. I mean, that was good. I enjoyed that. I think that was a Paramount thing, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Paramount.
It was Netflix. It was Paramount. It might be on Netflix though now. I mean, eventually they all sell everything to each other. And what do you guys think about the Gravesend? About Gravesend, the show on Amazon Prime. Gravesend, Bigfoot Turkey. What show is that?
I didn't watch it.
Rick Charlton. The Offer was on Prime.
I thought it was on Prime.
It was on Prime then. Maybe it was where it was. Maybe it wasn't Paramount.
John,
I thought it was Paramount because Paramount owned it.
Gianni Russi bankrolled it.
Gravesend. I've not heard about this Gravesend, but I have IMDb open, so I'm going to look it up. Gravesend 2020. William DeMeo. What is this? Story of 1980s Brooklyn. It's written in blood. Benny Zerletta, a Brooklyn-based Italian-American soldier in the Colezzo crime family, follows in the steps of his cousin. Hey, it's a crime. It's an organized crime. I haven't watched it. Paramount and Prime. Now we know where it was. Great. Anyway, yeah, no, I haven't watched that Bigfoot Turkey. Oh, man, watch that. Really? It's that good, huh? Well, maybe I have to check it out.
A.T. Bob doesn't like it.
Gravesend is horrible. Really? So we have some mixed reviews on this. Mickey Griggs, it's about the New York mob. And it doesn't have anything to do with Chicago. Everybody on this channel loves Chicago.
Motherless Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It was a flop. Ed Norton put all his heart in that thing. It didn't work.
Really? Didn't go anywhere, huh? Huh. Well, Files isn't charging anything for his interviews. It was just down in Dallas and gave a 3-hour presentation. So, Tim Perrone, I've been in contact with James Files 4 times in the last month by phone. Well, Tim asked James if he'll come on the show.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him on the show and talk to him about it.
Every time I've seen him, when he's talked to somebody, he had his wife, or he got married right after he got out. She helped him write a book, and he wrote a book. And she kind of helps him along to remember things.
Okay.
He's getting old.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Every day. Every day.
If it's the alternative, man.
A day at a time. Every day. Getting a little older. Just 4 days ago, I was 23 and a half.
Tim Perrone says, I'm right that he has immunity from Texas for the assassination. And at that time, there was no federal law against murder. And that's a fact.
What?
Because I reported the murders in 1971. I reported the murders to...
how can a murder not be a crime?
It's not a federal crime. It's a state crime.
It was written on tablets. Thou shalt not kill. Been a freaking rule for a long time, hasn't it? Federal, not on federal. Federal, it was against the law in the state, but not federal.
Right.
How the hell does that work?
That's the way they write the laws.
Man, these politicians. Let me tell you, could they be more? I mean, it's just how could it? Murder is a state law. George Samancic, Butch chiming in. It's not federal. Murder is a state law. Butch is a cop too. All right, so or was a cop anyway.
In 1971, I reported the murders of the Peterson Schuessler boys that I heard from Ken Hansen. I reported that to John Osborne, and they told me, they said that's not a federal crime. They didn't want to be bothered with. Now there is a federal law against murdering a postal worker or any federal employee. Then they look into it.
Okay. I'm just scrolling through some of the comments here, guys. Bill Crawley, we love Chicago because we're all from it. Exactly. Most everybody who watches this was from Chicago. All right, Pat Gannon. Pat, is there a book about the South Side Mob like El Taco, Dominic Palermo?
Boys in the Heights.
Boys in the Heights. And I have that book. That's a good book. I got to finish reading it. I haven't finished it. That's a really good book, though. Boys in the Chicago Heights is a good book. There you go. Sean Pender's agreeing, too. It's a good book. Did y'all see the mayor East Point of Michigan stole all that money, then refused to step down, said it was the people's fault she stole it?
Yes.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't hear about that. Really?
Yeah.
God, man, it's just unbelievable corruption. And it goes all the way up, and it's all in the government, man. It's what it all went to. It's all in the government.
It starts at the bottom. When they become lawyers, then they run for office. They become something locally. Then they go into state politics. They try for governor. They try for the state legislature. And eventually, bang, they go right up to D.C. like Barack Obama.
Yeah, same thing. Sure. Yeah, he went straight to that. I'm not going to run for president if I get senator. I'm not going to do that.
No.
Never going to happen. Bigfoot Turkey, when was the last time a mobster was murdered in Chicago? What would that answer be? Right?
I don't know. I don't know what the last one was.
It's a damn good, interesting question. I have no idea. All right. The Secret Service violated every state law by taking the body back to Washington over the objections of the coroner.
That's JFK.
Right.
And they did violate every law, and they got away with it.
Okay, Tim,
To improve the matters, to make it, solid, JFK, LBJ was on the plane with the body, and he was already president in succession, but he called for a judge to go onto the plane to swear him in.
Okay.
Texas judge, because he wanted to be sworn in. That way he could handle things.
Gotcha. All right, Tim Peroni. Not all James files, and you've been taken down. Not all James Files videos have been taken down. I've got at least 15 in my history. I will send it to anybody that wants to see him. He buried Chuck Nicoletti's diary.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Huh. All right. The crime of murder is prosecuted in state courts as a state crime, but murder becomes a federal crime when it occurs in violation of federal law or when it takes place on a federal land. Give me an example of federal land.
Like the Indians. Like, what's that movie? You just had me watch it. It was a remake. It was about going to the reservation where there was all the murders there. You're drawing a blank.
I'm drawing a complete blank.
You're the one who told me to watch it. Something Flowers.
Something Flowers? About a reservation. What are you talking about, Red?
It was about the FBI went to Oklahoma because there were Indians being killed off and their rights to the oil was being taken away. It's an old story. It was a remake on the movie. Thunderheart was a good movie too. I liked it. Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes. Good movie.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes.
The Osage Nation land. Osage are murdered. One of that's it's DiCaprio and De Niro.
It's a good movie.
I don't think I ever watched this.
It's a true story too.
Martin Scorsese did this. This is brand new. This just came out. It's 3 hours and 26 minutes.
You told me about it. You told me, Red, you got to watch this.
No, man, you got me confused with somebody else.
You sent me a message.
Dude, I've never watched this. I'm telling you, I've never watched this, man. I'm looking at the trailer right now going, I've never.
It was the second time they made it. They made it once before years ago with Jimmy Stewart.
Okay. Wow. No, I got to put this on. Sorry, I've never seen this, guys. Okay, Obama was backed by a Chicago mob family.
Not really.
Rick Charlton says. Oh, Sizzou. Hey, have you seen Sizzou? Ian McCarthy. He's talking about Zizou.
Tony Zizzo.
Zizzo? Is that what you're talking about? No. There's a movie. It's out on Amazon. It's called Sizzou, S-I-S-U. It's about a guy in Finland. This he's like a special forces guy who takes out these Russians, and it's almost like John Wick done up World War II. It's freaking cool, man. I love that movie. It was good. Sorry to get off track there, guys. American politics proves the Peter principle. Dennis Gonzalez. Dennis Farina played a mobster and was a real Chicago police cop. Good actor.
He's good at what he played.
We've talked about Dennis on the show before. He was a good actor. So, yeah, real good actor. They bring the feds in with a civil rights violation.
Always.
Civil rights violation.
Or a hate crime. They'll bring them in on a hate crime, too.
Right. It's a new movie. It's almost 4 hours long. We're talking, guys. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments here. So, Obama was not backed by a crime family.
No.
Kevin Rather says no.
Hey, it's not on the internet anymore, but he used to be a community organizer in Detroit area. And then he moved to Chicago. But they took all that information off the internet.
Okay, so last mobster to die in Chicago, somebody asked. And Don Cheech is saying Little Tony.
Tony Zizzo, Little Tony Zizzo.
If dead.
He's dead. Guaranteed he's dead. Nick Calabrese.
What was up with Zizzo?
Well, they thought he was going to talk. He was arrested. They thought he was going to talk on a gambling charge. But 2006, They talked about Nick Calabrese said he's the one that did it, but he can't remember exactly where they put the body.
Huh.
It's over by Sox Park, Comiskey Field. And they were tearing down Comiskey Field and building the new park, and they never found the body.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man, I would say that sounds a little fishy.
Yeah, it is fishy.
Never found him. Yeah.
There's a lot of bodies that have never been found.
Crazy. But that's that's the way it works. The crowd. They're sorry to be late. Dude, it's the end of the show, man. There's like 2 minutes left late. You're like missed the whole thing, Kraut. You are like, sorry, you're a little late, a couple minutes late. You're at the end of the damn show.
You're going to have to watch it again, Kraut.
Nice to see you. Oh, that's all good. So, is the site of St. Valentine's Day Mass marked in some way, or is it just another building? It's an empty lot.
Yeah. And actually, the Mob Museum, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, bought some of the bricks from there.
They have part of the wall there, yeah. So it's Jacqueline Moore, Adam, the movie is so good, keeps you so involved, you won't notice the time length. A must see. I'll watch it. Killers of the Flower Moon.
I like the story.
Name in it. Flowers. Right there. Anyway, RV Doc, guess I missed the show. Yeah, if you're just coming in, you missed it. So
Great watch it, RV Doc. It's good.
It's a good show. It's interesting. We learned some new stuff today. Scott Christoffel, hey guys, hey everybody, go check out Scott's oddity shop there in Chicago. Check him out on Facebook and go visit him. So neat little shop he has. Anyway, Red, it's been fun, and next week is another week. We'll be back, and that's one down for 2024.
Hey, everybody.
Whoops. That's one down for 2024. So thanks a bunch for being on the show with me, Red. And guys, you come out here to Vegas, be sure to check out the Vegas Mob Tour, the Vegas Crime Tour, Haunted Vegas Tours, Good Springs Ghost Hunt, and use MobVlog as a promo code. Get yourself 20% off.
You won't be sorry.
No, it's great. As a matter of fact, just took my partner on the crime tour, him and his family yesterday. And he enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty damn good. So it's something to see. So we'll see you guys out here. Red, it's been fun, man. I'll see you. Have a great day. God bless.
God bless.
Join us for the Vegas Mob Tour. Experience Sin City's dark past. Learn how Bugsy Siegel built the Flamingo. Find out who killed him and why. Hear who Jimmy Hoffa supplied money to back in the 50s. Visit the actual home used in the 1995 blockbuster movie Casino, and other filming locations as well. See the real jewelry store where Frank Collada and his crew were busted. Sit in the exact spot where Frank Lefty Rosenthal's car was bombed back in '82. View never-before-seen footage of Frank Collada telling personal stories about Tony Spilatro, Joey the Clown Lombardo, and the Hole-in-the-Wall Gang.
This house here used to be Tony's house. It's almost like a peach color. It was brown then. The only thing changed is the driveway.
Here's an offer you can't refuse. Upgrade to the Untouchables experience. Following the tour, you'll enjoy a 3-course dinner at the Tuscany Gardens, and then VIP seating for the long-running hit The Rat Pack is Back show. Experience Vegas the way it was meant to be.